everything, right? We've come from these two different perspectives now where people either completely down it and they're just like, I don't care, it's just money, it's just whatever. And then you have people over here who are completely in love with it and they're obsessed and it's what makes them think they're good and it's what, whatever. And obviously, like most things, there's somewhere in the middle, but I don't think we're paying enough attention to it. So I'm going to share some of my experiences and I'm going to talk about what I think real estate people overall need to be doing. I think it was a real eye-opener looking at everybody in here when I said, how many of you take out automatically for taxes or don't take out automatically for taxes, and almost every hand went up, okay? That is freaky. Any of you ever gotten a big tax bill and just been like, oh God? Any of you ever had a great year which led to you then having a tax bill that you went like, oh my God, right? Like, that's what happens, right? And so I think we need to respect money. I think that we either make decisions based on whether you have the money to do it or not, or you pay the consequences. You pay the price for not making decisions, okay? How many of you, being honest with me right now, do not even think that much about money? Like, you buy things and you don't even think about whether you have the money or not. Like, how many of you just don't really even pay attention? How many of you do not have any kind of a budget, don't have any kind of like a, you don't really know? Like, if it's there, it's there. Like, I'm not sure. Like, how many of you would say you run your life that way, right? If you're sitting next to someone who's not raising their hand, say you are a liar. Tell them that you are a liar right now, okay? So guys, this is such a real thing for me now, okay? Because there were many times in my life when, and this is not a message for new agents, experienced agents, whatever. This is a message for everybody. I'm going to tell you that at one of the peaks in my life, in my history, when I was making a lot of money, I didn't have a lot of money. Like, at one of the peaks in my life when I was killing it and I was, whatever it happened to be, I was not saving a lot of money. Like, I still needed to produce. There were still times when I'm like, oh my God, am I ever going to do a transaction again? Oh my God, I've got to, like what Mark was talking about, where he was like, I have to make this much just to keep up with what's going on, right? And so there were times in my life when it seemed like there were never enough. There's never enough money. And what I'm going to tell you, like I've been telling a lot of people lately, is that financial freedom most times does not come from what you make, okay? Let's be very clear about this. Financial freedom comes from what you spend. You got that? That is a very important point that I need everybody in here to understand. I don't care what kind of a producer you are in here. I don't care how much money you made last year. All I care about is what you spent. Because I have millionaire friends that are broke. And then I have friends who made $43,000 last year and are doing just fine. Okay? If you make 500 but you spend 501, you follow? And so the first thing that I need every single person in here to understand is that it's not about what you make, it's about what you spend, period. And we're all in North America, where lifestyle is everything. Where why shouldn't I be able to go out and buy coffee every morning? Why shouldn't I be able to, okay? And this type of mentality, I think I said yesterday that feelings are your enemy. Feelings are the enemy of finances. Feelings are the enemy of your freedom. Do you know why a lot of you overspend on what you should? Because I deserve it. I work so hard. Have you ever gotten to the point where you've worked your butt off all year long, you can't afford a vacation with your family, but you say, I don't care, we're doing it, because we deserve it? That is a lie. You deserve it if you saved. You don't deserve it if you don't have the money, right? Hard work does not equal time off. How you manage that money is ultimately what's going to give you the freedom to be able to make those types of decisions, okay? So feelings, enemy of finances. Feelings, enemy of freedom. Financial freedom is not about what you make, it's about what you spend. Do you realize 47% of all Americans on a regular basis have less than $400 in their account? And have a car made in the last 5 years, and have a cell phone, and have a 40 or plus more inch screen TV, and go out to eat once to twice a week, and go out to, you guys following where I'm going right now? 47% of all Americans, I don't have the Canadian stat for those of you that are here from Canada, but it's the same principle. You know it is. 47% of all Americans on a regular basis, I'm not saying that there's not a time when they have $1,200, but then they pay their $900 rent, it's down. You understand? 47% of all Americans on a regular basis have less than $400 of disposable income in their account. And yet the funny thing is that there is absolutely no lack of money on this planet. Money, oh, I so want to get off this stage. This is killing me right now, guys. Okay. Money is paper with dead people on it. Following? Paper with dead people. What gives this thing value? It's paper. What gives it value? U.S. Treasury tells us that it's worth a certain amount. We all agree that it's worth that amount. And since we all come into agreement, this is worth $100. You understand? Okay? What is it, though? It's paper with dead people. Is there any lack of this anywhere? Do you know how much money there is in the world? Do you know how much money there is in your area? Do you know how many commission dollars will be paid out in your area in the next year? Anybody ever figured that out? It is astronomical, okay? So money, having money is not the issue. Having it in your pocket is the issue, right? You being able to get close enough to that thing is ultimately what matters. But how we look at money matters, okay? So the first thing we have to do from a psychological or whatever position you want to do is to get over this whole thing we have with money. Most of us grew up with a lack mindset. Most of us grew up either, like I said, not respecting it, not caring about it, just not even, we just accepted the fact that getting by was okay. We just accepted the fact that overspending was okay because that was the only model that we ever saw. And while we think it's not okay for us, we then pass it down to our kids as well, right? And so before I even kind of get going right now, I want us all to kind of make that switch right now and understand that there is no, guys, okay, Corbin made a statement yesterday that was extremely similar to an experience that I had, okay? When I finally realized what industry I was in when I was selling real estate, and I went like, holy crap, I'm in an industry where like there's no limitation. Like there's no stoppage on how many houses I can sell. There is absolutely, like in your brokerage, if you sell a bunch of houses, your broker's not gonna come over and go, hey now, slow it down. People are starting to talk. You know, you're doing a little bit well right now. You're doing a little, okay? That's never gonna happen. The moment I figured that out in my real estate business, no joke, within 3 months was the first time that I ever made 100+ grand in 1 month. Because I was like, wait a second now. If I just stay hungry and I act like I've never created anything and every day I get up desperate and I create, the moment I did that within 3 months, I had my first ever $100,000+ month. That changed everything for me. Because I went, if I can do that once, I can do that again. And then I can do that again, and then I can give that. The only difference between you and the financial freedom you want is literally a problem you haven't solved, it's an idea you haven't implemented, it's a solution you haven't brought to market yet, it's just something you haven't done. You've heard me say before, we're all exactly where we deserve to be, right? We're all exactly where we deserve to be from a financial standpoint, from a business standpoint, from all of this stuff, and for some of you that's sobering, and for some of you that's awesome, but here's the really cool thing too. Next year, we're exactly where we deserve to be. Where I am today from a financial standpoint is a complete result of what I've done and the way that I've thought and the way I've treated money the last 5 years. Where I was at those times when I was in lack and those times when I had no extra and those times when was a complete result of me buying things and doing things because I deserved them. You understand? And in the end, the irony of it all is that I deserved everything that I got, okay? So let's talk about money a little bit. Money is not evil. Love of money is not a good thing. If you think money is going to now, make you into something that you're not, it's going to now, money is not evil on its own. Money is a resource. Money isn't a bad word. Will money make you happy? No. I had a lady come up to me at an event about 8 months ago, and I was talking about money, and she goes, I don't believe in all that. Money won't make you happy. And I said, neither will poverty, ma'am. So what are we talking about right now? Money won't make you happy. No, but I'm going to tell you all, guys, that I've been in points of my life where I've been very broke, and I've been points in my life where I've been not broke, and one is easier than the other. Can we agree on that? Okay? So we respect what money can bring us, the financial freedom that it can bring us, the freedom to be able to make decisions, the freedom to be able to do things based on what we should do, not what we have to do. You guys catch that? When you are financially secure, you are able to make decisions on what you should do, not what you have to do. And way too many people in this room right now are making decisions on a regular basis based on what you have to do, not what you should do. Does that make sense? I know I should do that. I know I should be in coaching. I know I should be using that platform. I know I should be using that tool. I know I should be. I just can't. So here's what I have to do. That is not how you come from a position of strength. But when money is managed correctly, it's an amazing resource to give you stability, to give you growth, to give you clarity of decision, to give you all of that kind of stuff. Won't make you happy, but neither will being broke. Money magnifies who you are. There's no doubt about it, okay? People, I was around someone recently and they said, oh, that guy, he made a lot of money. Now he's an a-hole. And I'm like, he was an a-hole all along. You guys just didn't pay attention to him because you didn't think he mattered, which probably says more about you now. If you're an a-hole before you get money, you'll be an a-hole when you get money. It'll just be magnified because everybody will pay attention now, okay? If you're a good person, it is amazing to me. Can I just get really real with you guys for a second? It's amazing to me the number of people in this audience, and guys, thank you. Bless your heart. I love you. Like, it's awesome. Great. That send me messages and go, he's so cool. He's so nice. I can't believe he's so humble and down to earth. What did you think I was? Like, seriously, like, what do you think I was? Like, I'm no different, right? Money magnifies who you are. If you were an a-hole beforehand, you'll be an a-hole afterwards. If you weren't, you won't be. It's really that, okay? So I would recommend for a lot of you who maybe don't have as much now, work on yourself now, okay? Before you're too big to fail, okay? Like, you get it? Like, money simply magnifies who you are, okay? So which comes first, money or lifestyle? Confusion in the air. Okay, what I want to come first, okay? See, now here's the funny thing. A lot of you just said money and your lifestyle, you're confused. Because if I were to say lifestyle, you think that lifestyle means up here. Lifestyle comes first, but it's down here, okay? Guys, I still shop off of clearance racks, okay? It drives my wife nuts. Like, do you understand? She's like, Jared, would you buy some nice stuff, please? Like, would you, like, please, it's okay. Like, okay? Like, lifestyle comes first, right? Like, live down here first. If you want to live up here eventually, first, where do you got to live? You got to live down here, okay? Do you realize 80% of the overall population, when they get older, are not going to be able to stop working and will be living off of government assistance? Okay? That's a drag on everyone, by the way. 80% of the world's population is going to have to either continue to work when they get older, and eventually when they can't, they will have to live off of government assistance, which means they're getting money from everybody else, which is pulling from the tax burden of everybody else, which means everybody's taxes goes up, which means everybody freaks out every year when they got to pay their tax. It's all this circle that occurs because people aren't being taught how to manage their money properly, okay? How many of you right now, just out of curiosity, are hooked up automatically to some kind of a QuickBooks or something like that on all of your accounts? How many of you are not right now? Okay. How many of you are hooked up, but you're not keeping it balanced? Okay? How many of us are guessing all throughout the year where we are from a financial standpoint? How many of us are how many of us at the end of the year are trying to find every meal possible for a write-off? Because we're like, I need these expenses right now to go to a different place, okay? So let's talk about what we actually want to be doing from a financial position, okay? Here's what generally goes on with the average realtor, okay? Generally what happens is this right here. You get your checks. They go into your personal name, not an LLC. They go into your checking account, and then you just figure it out. Pay some bills, spend it, like usually even before it even comes there. Like, how many of you relate to this, okay? How many of you right now do not have, wasn't a woo moment. I love it, but yes. Okay. How many of you legitimately do not have your checks going into an LLC or some kind of corporation? And I'm not saying LLC. I'm not going to get into right now what the difference between an S Corp, you're on salary, an LLC. It's not my role to do that with you. I know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want the liability, okay? But you do not have the check. Raise your hand if you do not have your check going into some kind of a corporation. Okay. The amount of taxes, first off, we thank you, okay? Because that's less than the rest of us have to pay. The amount of taxes you're paying in additional by not having it go into a corporation would freak you out, okay? You need to leave here, go meet with your accountant, figure out what the corporation, whether it's going to be an LLC, whether it's going to be an S Corp, whether it's going to be a limit, whatever it's going to be, you need to go on to your state, what do you call it? Come in there right now. Secretary of State, thank you. Fill out, get your corporation name, and stop getting things written out into your personal name, okay? Can we agree that's going to happen? Can we be very tangible right now? Step one, okay? This right here, how many of you have your checks all going in to something like a personal checking account? I mean, real quick, guys, hold your hands up again. Look around you so you don't feel bad. Look around you, okay? Not a great idea, that right there, okay? Now, let's look at what good agents are doing. And you guys are going to get this slide, okay? You're going to get these slides. Let's look at what good agents are doing. Good agents, number one, have a central business account in the name of that corporation. You got that? This is the central account, and I'm going to show you where things go and how it all works. Good agents, and we're going to go great agents, okay? In today's world of technology, guys, I can go on here. By the way, I literally have within one of my accounts like 8 different accounts, okay? And I can jump on here, and I could go in right now, and I could say, I'm not hooked up there, right? Yeah, okay, good. Opened up. I can go on here. I can say where it's going to go. I can say which accounts. I have my personal, my business all within the same, so I can have them go to the personal, to the business, to the tax account, to the whatever. I can have rules set up so that when stuff goes into this one account, 20% goes here, 10% goes there, this goes over there. I can do, guys, it's one time. One time. Done. Completely done. Here's what good agents do. Good agents have a central business account. I don't care what company you use. I don't care whatever it is, okay? A central business account where they have an automatic rule where 35% of their money goes off to a separate account that's tied to it that's a tax account. Now, if you have a great accountant, you're not going to pay 35%. I'm not planning for that. I want you at the end of the year to be like, look at that. I got $15,000. You get? Okay? So 35%, you set up a rule that automatically goes there. So you have your central business account. That central business account is where you get your check, goes into your business name, goes into that account. Everybody following? An automatic rule is set up, which means that if I put any amount of money into this account, $10,000, 35% automatically goes to the under account, which is the tax account, which you do not touch. 40% goes into home and personal. We'll get into that. This is what good agents do, okay? Guys, one of the first things we do in coaching is we do a detailed budget with you. Where first what we do, we tell a lot of people that by joining coaching and paying for coaching, you're going to pay less per month than when you didn't join coaching. Because the first thing we do is do an audit and look for stuff that we can eliminate from your monthly bills, okay? And then we go through your personal budget, we go through your business budget, we go through all these things to start figuring out how can we start running like a business, okay? So what kind of accounts you go into? Business, okay? Goes off 35% taxes, and a good agent puts 40% home or personal. You guys want to look at what a great agent does? Here's what a great agent does, and this is going to lead right into what Mark's going to be talking about with you guys. What time is it right now? Does Mark start in like a couple minutes? Who's up next? Okay. Here's what a great agent does. Great agent still has central account, business account, right? Money goes in. They have a rule set up that goes 35% into taxes. They have a rule set up that goes 25% home personal. They have a rule set up that goes 15% into savings investments. You're like, what are those? This is where you need to be, okay? Now, how do you get there? Do you get there by what you make, or do you get there by what you spend? I'm trying to change the way you guys think right now, okay? Oh my God, there's no way we could live on our home, whatever, on 25% and have the, if you're doing what I'm telling you to do in the long term here, where 25% of your revenue is going straight to your business, and now you're reinvesting in your business and you're building the way you are, it's amazing what 25% of 500 grand is, okay? It's amazing what, and so when you start looking at this now, here's what I really want you to do. I want everyone in here to right now project out 10 years right now. In the next 10 years, what is the minimum revenue that you will make in your business in the next 10 years? Minimum. Some of you last year made $127,000, and you need to make a minimum revenue of 90 grand. You've been doing this 12 years, and in 8 straight years, you've never made less than 97,000, okay? Find what your minimum revenue is. You guys following? What's your minimum revenue? Project that out over the next 10 years, okay? That minimum revenue is what you are now going to base your lifestyle on. Do the numbers, percentage here, percentage here, percentage here, percentage here, and when you look at the percentage for home and personal, you look at the percentage for these other things, now you're going to figure out at a minimum revenue cost, what kind of lifestyle can I live? Making sense to everybody? Some of you aren't going to like that lifestyle. That's called looking at real numbers. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not realistic. It means that you've been living way above your means. While we're trying to keep up with everybody and we're trying to, okay? Maybe you need to not buy jeans for 3 years, okay? Maybe you need to take better care of your shoes and wear the same ones for the next 2 years on your appointments. Maybe you need to, what's my minimum revenue? Because I am determined, this is what you need to say, I am determined to run my business like a business. And if that means that for a short amount of time, I have to live like I haven't been living for the last 5 years, then that's what you do. Because I'm telling you that if you're willing to live like you haven't been for the last 5 years, for the next 2 years, you'll be able to live however you want for the rest of your life. Did that make sense to everybody? Guys, I am living proof of this. Like I don't have time to go into it with you right now, okay? But I'm in a place because I'm following this kind of stuff where I've got savings and I've got revenue and I've got at a level that I never would have thought was possible. But I can't tell you how many ramen noodles and how many, because you just got to do what you got to do. You don't like the thought of that? That sounds uncomfortable. Do you know what's really uncomfortable? Living broke for the next 25 years. That's broke. That's uncomfortable. The stress that carries, the sleepless nights, it's not worth it. You guys following me right now? I got to bring Mark up. Any questions you have about this? I'm going to do a long Q&A at the end of today, okay? So as I'm going through stuff like this, I need you guys to be writing down your questions, and if you have specific questions about this kind of stuff and whatever, understand this stuff is real to me. This isn't like what I read out of a book or something like that. It's real to me. If you have questions about it, go ahead and ask it, okay? With that being said, guys, I am going to bring back to the stage, off of this topic on finances, how to actually